Look at your morning routine. You wake up to an alarm that you resent, scroll through the exact same 3 apps for 20 minutes to numb the dread, brush your teeth, and head out to do exactly what's expected of you. If someone asks how you are, you say, I'm good, how are you? Without a second thought, without a single neuron firing, without even thinking and seeing your condition. You aren't consciously choosing those words. Your brain is running on an automatic macro. We laugh at video game NPCs for walking into the walls or repeating the same dialogues again and again. But honestly, most of us are not very different from them. We are just running on a slightly more expensive hardware. You can put it like this. We are slowly becoming background characters in our own lives. And the scariest and the most disturbing part is how comfortable it feels. When we talk about society controlling us, we immediately think of a dystopian society or a dystopian government or some kind of cartoon villain pulling the strings. That's what most of the conspiracy theories are about. But in reality, it's much more boring than that. It's more structural. The thinker J. Krishnamurti nailed exactly why this system works this way or is designed in this way. He said, governments want efficient technicians, not human beings, because human beings become dangerous to the government and to the organized religions as well. That is why governments and religious organizations seek to control education. Think about what an efficient technician actually is. It is someone who knows exactly how to code, how to file a tax return, how to optimize a spreadsheet, but completely forgets to ask why they are doing it in the first place. And most importantly, who are they? The modern world doesn't hate your humanity. It's just that your humanity is highly inefficient. A technician is predictable, replaceable, and keeps the GDP moving. A fully awake human being who looks at a 9-to-5 cubicle and asks, wait, is this actually what existing is supposed to be? Is a total liability, at least from the capitalist point of view. Power doesn't need to hold a gun to your head anymore. Instead, it builds institutions. And what do we get in exchange for all this? We get the warm, fuzzy feeling of being normal. We spend our youth trying to climb the exact same ladders, buy the exact same products, and hit the exact same milestones that everyone else is achieving. But as Krishnamurti beautifully put it, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Think about that. If our collective culture is deeply addicted to distractions, status, anxiety, hyperconsumption, and existential numbness, then being perfectly well adjusted isn't a flex. It just means you have successfully contracted the local illness. You, at that point, have decided to reject yourself and to reject to know yourself. The existentialist Jean-Paul Sartre called this psychological cop-out bad faith. It's a neat little trick where we pretend that we don't have a choice just to escape this terrifying anxiety of actual freedom. Sartre gave this famous example of a waiter, a cafe waiter, whose movements are just a little too precise, a little too perfect. He's not acting like a human being who happens to wait tables. He has completely dissolved his humanity into the role of being a waiter. We do this constantly. We put on the ambitious student mask, the polite corporate worker, or the chill friend mask. We hide behind a script because being an entity with no real choices is incredibly safe. The underlying reality is psychological conditioning. We crave this conditioning because true freedom is lonely. Friedrich Nietzsche called this herd mentality. He saw that society actively rewards mediocrity because the herd thrives on stability. When you live like an NPC long enough, your actual consciousness starts to atrophy. You stop experiencing reality as it is and start processing it. You eat food while staring at a screen, not tasting a single bite. You listen to a friend talk not to understand what they are saying, but just waiting for their lips to stop moving so you can drop your pre-programmed response. You have traded the chaotic, terrifying, brilliant reality of being alive for a set of sterile, comfortable habits. You have been conditioned to prefer a cage over the sky, simply because a cage guarantees a predictable routine and zero surprises, and hence is quite comfortable. The knee-jerk reaction to all of this, especially on the internet, is to think the solution is to just get ultra rich. We are told that if we just hustle harder, make millions, and buy the supercar, we finally escape the matrix. But that is the ultimate trap. Making wealth an ambition. You just amplified what the society was already doing. Because if you don't actually change your internal wiring, wealth will never make you free. You might be tremendously happy from outside, and inside you will be breaking down in constant fear of losing wealth, in constant fear of losing your family, in numerous fears and anxieties. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. It just upgrades you to a premium NPC. Remember, inner reflects the outer. If the inner is chaotic, if the inner is unclear, if the inner is problematic, the outer can never be free. You might change the setting from a cramped cubicle to a luxury penthouse, but if you still don't know who you are underneath, the conditioning is still running the show. You are still just blindly reacting to society's prompts, society's conditionings. Except now your pre-programmed identity is tied to watches, bank balances, and meaningless status symbols. You are still just a background character, having a more expensive skin. Albert Camus gave us a much deeper answer. He wrote about the myth of Sisyphus, the guy condemned by the gods to push a massive boulder up the mountain for eternity, only to watch it roll back down. Camus argued that modern life is basically that. Wake up, push the rock, go to sleep, and repeat. Sisyphus becomes a revolutionary the exact second he walks back down and consciously chooses his reality. He owns the absurdity. Camus wrote, "The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. To stop being an NPC, you don't need to change your tax bracket. You have to reclaim your attention. You have to wake up from the sleep." Most of us are still asleep, and only those who can perceive the reality as it is, without any prejudice, without any conditioning, can be truly wakeful. Look at your automatic reactions, your political bias, your deepest insecurities, and ask, did I actually author this thought? Or was it just downloaded in my head while I wasn't looking, while I wasn't aware? When you see the reality as it is, without separating the observed and the observer, and realize that both of them, or both of these things, are not separate. The observer is formed from the images of the observed, and the observed is itself formed from the judgments of the observer. Both of them are the same, and witnessing this process while realizing this truth is actual meditation. To be free, to be not like an NPC, you must know yourself. Who are you? And just remove what you are not, psychologically.